Alright, so I finally got a little bit more time to make a list of things that need to be done, and don't get me wrong, in this list there's things, like there's items that could probably have a list of their own. But this is a good start to show you guys basically what will need to be done in the process. So there will need to be a modifying of the NA intake manifold for the 08 STI. There's a few little things that will need to be done to make sure we've got all our vacuum lines and things like that ready to go for all of the necessary bits and pieces that need them. I am going to put another engine in the STI in the meantime. It's just going to be a broken motor that is literally just going to be a test fit motor, so we can start mocking other things up in the meantime. I need to clean up the TGV housings. When I pulled it all apart, the TGVs had been kind of deleted, but they'd been done, you'd say, very, very roughly. So I'm going to clean up the TGV housings, and I'll show you guys the process of doing that, and I'll show you guys what they look like now. So I'm going to make up a kind of a full custom fuel setup. It's going to have to be from kind of the fuel tank forward. I've got a few ideas in mind. I'm not going to say too much now because I'll probably end up doing a whole video on it. But yeah, that'll be one of the things that we'll have to do. Again, that could probably have its own whole list. Mocking up front mount intercooler and figuring out what I need to do piping wise for it. Again, there'll probably be a whole video on that. Mocking up and modifying new set of headers for the G30 770 and modifying the down type to suit the rotated setup for the G30 770. Now there is a half a thought of me doing this build in 2 steps, more or less purely just for lack of funds. Doing it the way I want to do it, it's about, call it $22,000 worth of parts, without any kind of labor involved. That does include, sorry, the machine shop's labor, but no other labor. So it's a lot of money just in parts and machining. So there is a chance that I'll do 400 horsepower first, purely just because I've already got a stock location turbo and the rest of the setup that would work to get at 400 horse pretty easily. To get up to that kind of 500 is a little bit more work and requires a little bit more kind of money spent just in the rotated setup and other supporting mods to make the rotated setup work. So there is kind of a half thought of me doing it in 2 stages, but we will see how funds go at this stage. So the next thing that will need to be done once the NA intake manifold is all mocked up and all that kind of stuff is make sure all the wiring still reaches everything it needs to. If not, it'll be fairly easy to modify, so I'm not too worried about that. The Link G4X expansion loom wiring, so I'm going to be putting in a bunch more sensors. I'll put a wideband bung in the exhaust too. A few extra sensors which can just be kind of upgraded off of the stock ones, just a 3-port or a 4-port boost solenoid, and a map sensor. The car doesn't have a radio, so it's kind of the least of the worries for now, but you know, if I find a stocky for a reasonable price, I might just grab it to throw it in there. Put together engine after it's done at the machine shop, clean out the ABCS cam gears, and then put all the accessories on the motor ready for install, and install motor plus bolt-ons ready to go be tuned, and then break in and proper tune. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit of an overview of what we're looking at. So it's going to be, you know, a fairly big build. Chances are I want to try and go straight for the rotated setup and not kind of have to worry about changing it twice, but depending on how funds work out, it might be the only option. So we'll just have to see how we go. I'm going to be as open and honest as I can be. I'm not worth millions of dollars, I'm just like everybody else. I hope you've enjoyed the video. There's going to be a lot more coming, and I will basically get started on doing all the TGV housings and everything next, and manifold, I'd say. So keep an eye out for the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe and share it to other people who you think would be interested. As a quick extra, here is the manifold that I'll be using, which I've already started doing a bit too, modifying wise to make it work. And here are the old TGVs. So as you can kind of see, these TGVs have already been, you'd say, deleted, but just incredibly roughly. So whoever has done it has just kind of gone at it, and I'm not really worried too much about what it looks like. They just wanted to get rid of the TGVs for a little bit more flow, but we want to clean that up and make sure it's all spick and span for this build. So yeah, there's another little tidbit for you. Also, I'll just let you know, I may not be super, I guess, quick with getting content to you. This is going to be a purely kind of in my own time build. I've got work to work around as well. Luckily enough, I do work on cars, so whenever I do have free time, it will be kind of just spending time on this and my other projects, getting it done, which I'll get some other content for you of the other projects soon enough as well. So thank you very much again for watching. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. Like and subscribe, and yeah, share to anybody who you think will be interested.